Crash across America!
We are here, and there was a summit of leaders between Mexico, Canada, and the United States of America. There's a lot of protesters that don't want a North American Union, similar to the European Union. And so we see the ground around here littered with, if you want to get a shot of this, of just trash from the protests and everything. So this has been a big scene. Media are starting to walk away, but in the air you can still smell the tear gas that we saw on the news yesterday. So let's go talk to some of the people that are still here, some of the protesters.
The Security Prosperity Partnership came together in the year 2005. There are 20 cross-border working groups getting together to talk about a whole gamut of issues.
There's something like 300 separate points that the SPP wishes to integrate.
Pesticides is one, security perimeter is another, energy reserves, water sales.
We're talking about increasing the migrant worker program. However, our migrant worker program robs Canadian citizens of jobs and creates this hyper-exploitable labor force, because if they complain about labor conditions, their employers can have them deported.
So I can't figure out where this guy's coming from. He's first suggesting that Canadians have a right to a job, and then he's feeling bad for the migrant workers, saying that they're easily deported. Which way does he want it?
We see the downward thrust on labor issues, workers' rights, the environment.
So what this woman's saying is that basically the poor people in Mexico are going to steal jobs from the factory workers in Canada and probably, I'm assuming, America. But what's going to happen is these poor people who are now starving to death are going to end up with jobs, and they're going to produce cheap goods that the poorest people in America are going to be able to buy, like food and clothes. So I really don't see how the poorest people who can't afford food getting a job to afford food, and the people who can't afford clothes being able to afford clothes is bringing us all down.
What I personally think is it's a matter of public control versus private control, and the more that we can do to fight for publicly controlled resources, like whether it's things like healthcare and education, etc.
What's more public than letting the consumer decide for themselves instead of letting government guns or corporate control of the government decide for you?
But security is not justice. Prosperity is not an end to poverty. And you can't have a meaningful partnership without the people.
That actually makes sense.
The Security Prosperity Partnership has never been before Parliament or Congress or the Mexican Congress.
They have to do it in secret because they know that if it comes out into the light of day, the citizens will not allow it.
This morning, the North American Competitiveness Council was given a seat at the table with the leaders of Canada, the United States, and Mexico, which is really quite a powerful image that business and government was meeting without any public participation.
Wait, so you mean big business and big government are in cahoots? No.
Well, actually, the free market actually is kind of a sham too, because when you look at the free market, it's free markets for the poor. You know, the poor have to compete with one another. The rich don't want free markets. What they want is they want subsidies. They want handouts. They want that guaranteed money coming in.
You know, we have NAFTA since '94, and the subsidies still exist. Corn subsidies in America. You know, they're subsidizing the corn farmers, sending cheap corn down to Mexico. And indigenous farmers there can't even grow their own corn anymore because they can't sell it because the Americans can sell it cheaper to them. So,
You know, they're close. We agree that free trade is not done properly, and we agree that the government gives special privileges to corporations. But the problem is because corporations are able to go to the government for special favors because government is just so big. When they complain about people not being represented at the table, there shouldn't be a table. It should be me trading with you if that's what we decide as individuals, not some bureaucrats or not some protesters deciding who we get to trade with.